Here, I could
grab
send it
it.
again too. I'll send it in the chat.
But
too.
anyway, so when you look at everything that was put out and look at people that were getting mad at me, why? The question is, why was there so much purposely wrong information? Why?
And do you guys remember there was that app that was for like citizens that were searching so they could track where they went?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a red line that went like right around where that car was found? It was for like citizens that were searching.
Hi,
so
Jared.
Jared.
Yeah.
Wasn't there?
Welcome,
Oh,
Jared. Do
Hey,
you know
Jared.
Ryan? Do you know Ryan? Upchurch, have you guys met yet, Jared?
Jared.
We have never met.
Welcome,
Ryan,
Jared.
what's going on?
Do you
How's it
know?
going, man?
Oh, wait, hold on. It's
Everybody
echoing.
mute.
Hold on
Everyone
one
mute
second.
if you're not. Yeah.
Hold on
So-
1 second. Let me remove and then add him again. Because remember how this happened with you, Ryan?
Mute.
Mhm.
Everyone
Yeah. Oh, it's because someone has two tabs open for the YouTube and for the panel. Yeah.
Jared, do you have 2 tabs open?
No, I'm good.
Oh, I think we're good now. Okay, cool. I think we're good. All right, now. Can you hear us? Thank you for coming up.
Jared, talk.
Pleasure to meet everyone. So, first of all, Zap, thank you for, everything you've been doing, as well as all the other YouTubers, and Ryan as well. You definitely sent us over a lot of new subscribers and, your guys' support all this. So thank you to everyone and all the viewers. Just real quick, I just want to jump on here as we're just going through everything. Like the next 48 hours is going to be a madhouse because, as you know, the members only videos out. We have a lot of people that are scalping it already, and you've been very respectful to it and showing screenshots, not a problem. But we have some people that are straight up doing live streams, showing the whole video. So we're just like on top of it as we're cycling through with the mods and everybody. So I appreciate your, from one content creator to the other, that you're doing it appropriately. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
I just wanted to, I saw that Ryan jumped on here as well. The one we never said hello. So Ryan,
How's it going, man?
yeah, we definitely need to connect. We had somebody that was claiming to be your manager. I don't know if it was real or not, but yeah,
Brandon Luce. Yeah.
Yeah, he never responded back to me. So I did respond to him with my direct phone number. So make sure that you give me a call. And let's just you and I have a chat offline for sure. We don't need to discuss anything online.
100%.
As far as the different depths, real quick, for what you guys were talking about, 10 feet versus 14 feet. At the back of the vehicle versus the front of the vehicle, you are on a hillside, so you can get different readings there, as well as on sonar as it's hitting different portions of the car as the car is slanted. Some portions of it, at ground level is going to be 14 feet at the lower portion, whereas 10 feet, as you're coming up the hillside. And then when you're directly over the vehicle, now it's going to pick up that distance of, it's 5-6 feet. So now you're only going to get a reading of, 7 feet, 7 to 10 feet or so. So you will see different readings on the sonar as we're going over it. There's a lot more that we have cut out of the video. If certain things do happen, I'll just announce it right here. We have 2 other videos to be released if certain things do take place. And it's just going to be a whole, nobody knew this footage even existed from the tow truck driver, but we have the full uncut, raw, complete interview with him, as well as his girlfriend, who is a nurse. They are credible, stand-up people. They tracked us down. It was, the rolling billboard of AWP, and just seeing us pulling off of the interstate at Best Buy that first night that we got in town. We didn't track them down. It was just they saw us, just a chance encounter, and they tracked us down, and we had the interview with them. Wow. Which is why we ended up over there at Boca instead of over at Prosser to begin with. Had we ended up on Prosser based upon our normal search and the way that we do things of where were they last seen, what was the last cell phone ping, we would have been right there, and we would have, on day 1 versus day 2. So,
Jared, are you saying that the reason that you went to Boca first is because of the tow truck guy, or
yeah,
because
because we always go off of last known location, and so
yeah,
we have no doubt in trusting him because of his presence, his girlfriend, and the same story was told 3 times. It was, it was from memory. It wasn't like I'm making this up on the spot. And so very credible, which gives us a new last known location.
Oh my gosh.
in this
Wow.
as well. And I don't know, I can't remember if we showed it on video or not, but we did make an immediate phone call to the detectives as well to verify this. Now, the thing is that you have multiple, people taking these tips, from 2 different counties and 18 different agencies. And so while the detective that we made contact with immediately on the spot, while Nick, the tow truck driver, is there with us that night, that detective that we spoke to had never heard this, this confession, this story before. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't recorded somewhere else. Remember, what was there, like 1,500 or 2,000 tips that came in, and they have to filter through all of them. So
Exactly.
so we cannot sit here and say, well, this is completely made up story, and who is this guy just out of the blue? And there's going to be so many conspiracy theories, as as to this. Coming back to the the car and floating, and if somebody's involved or not. Like I said, if somebody is, we have the entire interview, which will just be like, you're going to be blown away with that one, as well as the full interaction with dad and grandpa, right there at Lakeside, versus what we cut down. We hope it's not true. We hope there's nothing more than accident, but we don't know. At this point, we're all speculating as to what's presented before us right now. In questioning whether, now that it's out, and you see that Nick in the video that we put out to members today, we can now confirm, we can put it out there publicly. Yes, she was in the back of the car. Now, the question that my wife came to me is, for me, the back is the back, but my wife, said, what part of the back? Well, she wasn't in the back seat. She was in the back. Okay. And so now when you start breaking this down, again, just speculation, even though she is a small gal, you only have so much space.
A little space.
You also have that this car is not sinking in the same way that a car with the windows up are going to sink, which would be a 2 to 10 minute float. And then the car, drops down. You have plenty of, air in there that's going to give you time to think about how you're going to escape with putting windows down, versus a window that is down, which now you have nothing trapping the air, which means the vehicle is going to go under much quicker and not.
What's the time? Jared,
by the way, that's a really cool video you put out that shows people how to get out of cars, bro. I watched that, and dude, I will never forget that knowledge.
It's very helpful. I agree, Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
20 to 30 seconds. If the windows are open, the car does not have long, so you don't have much time to react at all. You're not going to get doors open. The moment you end up with 4 inches of water pressure against the door, that door is not coming open.
Don't you have to wait till it sets all the way on the bottom and actually sets before you open the door?
Yeah, the entire vehicle has to be full of water, and that and now you have to hold your breath for you have to be able to be in the very top corner, taking that last breath, hold your breath for 2 minutes. Dude, listen, I can only hold my breath for 20 seconds. So
right,
for me, if I relied on waiting for a car to completely fill with water and escape, I would not make not make it out.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of that, Jared, yesterday when we played some videos, and one of the things was wait till the water for the buoyancy level, and everyone's like, no, AWP says do not do that, don't wait. Well,
same thing with the headrest. How many headrests don't even come off, or what if the top of the car is smashed, or we've even taken the headrest and tried to the headrest, as well as another tip is grab your visor and break it off. Well, first of all, it's really difficult to get the visor off. We showed it in one of the videos, as well as using it and just trying to get out the window. Don't rely on that. I mean, you do need to get yourself, an emergency, window breaker tool. I'm not here to sell them. We don't even have them on the website yet right now. And the reason for that is we have a unscrupulous competitor that actually has them off of the line right now. We're going through litigation with them. So anyway, we're going to end up having them back online, and we're going through that. We have a meeting with a Shopify litigation team on Friday, but this has been an ongoing thing with him. He's a terrible guy. It is what it is. In the end,
enough to do.
But in the end, one of the things you'll see, I won't state who he is. I won't say his name or his company. In the same way that we're still, even those people that we dislike and hate, or those that we protect at times, we just simply don't throw people under the bus.
Yeah,
hey, Jared, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
First of all, you're awesome. And would you be able to comment on the verification of the tow truck driver dash cam at all?
So the footage of that one was locked up by his company. And so the moment that it was made known that this might be a part of something, they just locked it down. He does not, because it's not his company. It wasn't his. He doesn't own the truck. It's now in the database cloud somewhere. But everybody is aware of that, and the law enforcement is following up on that. So we do not have it. He does not have it.
Okay, so
But what I
they
can
need a warrant to get it.
What I can say and touch on this is that, and this will be in our full released unedited interview if it goes this direction, but let me just say it here, is that Nick thought that this was so odd that once he was done with the call, he pulled down the road, pulled over, called his girlfriend, and he told her what had happened. So this is where we now have her story, and she was there as well, that you didn't see her on camera at that moment in time, but we do have her on camera as well, that she collaborates his story as to he was there and how odd this was. And she remembers the day because it was her dad's birthday, so she does not forget that it was Saturday.
Oh my God.
Can you give us more description of the guy?
Now, but again, I mean, I don't know Nick from, anybody. I don't have any reason to, discredit or think otherwise. And don't say, don't hold this, as the golden, the golden law here.
Mm-hmm.
As 100% true, as 100% truth or fact. I don't know, until more information comes out or something happens that can collaborate and verify this. We're just saying what has been passed on to us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we, in the edit, you saw we were very, respectful, blurred out certain things, and we left out a lot to not point fingers, not to speculate, but to simply bring more information out there to release our video because, as you guys know, there was whether it was a fake account or whether it was a real account, we started to get thrown under the bus, and we just let the video, speak for itself. That's what we do.
Exactly. And that's what I told everybody. I was like, listen, y'all, cause see, I've been on here for 10 years, bro. I've had fake profiles of me. I've had I've been scammed a million times. And I was like, you guys really have to watch out for what some of these accounts are pushing. I was like, look, this account right here is saying, Ryan, why are you saying that AWP is lying? I'm like, well, show me a video of me saying AWP is lying. I said, bro, they go everywhere. They don't know everyone everywhere they go. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm glad you guys got to meet though, because I was like, at first it was about the Hellcat, and I was like, are you guys going to take the money for the Hellcat? And now I just you guys have brought so much light to Kiely, and whether people agree or disagree with one side or another, we're all just truth seekers here, right? And we're just trying to do the best we can and put the pieces together. We adore you. Jared, I just want to say something. We have been like promoting you guys after we had something, we had a guest on, we've had a guest on for a long time who put you down. We felt really bad about it, and you probably know the PI that we're talking about. So
we've learned to simply not respond to trolls and haters online, and it is what it is. So in the end, the truth comes out, and we are who we are. So like us or hate us, in the end, I don't care. Ryan doesn't care either. I've seen a couple of his videos.
That's a tiny percentage of people.
I know, that's what I love about Ryan. He don't care about any
in the end, we're here to do. We're here to find out the where. We're not here. We are not here to find out the who or the how.
Exactly.
We did our job, and then we moved on to the next one.
Can you answer what gear the car was in, or can't you answer?
So while our team did not specifically look at what gear it was, you can see in the video that the wheels are turning, which would indicate that the vehicle is in neutral.
Otherwise, that mug would have went.
Wow. Okay.
So Jared, can you describe the person a little more on the video? That the guy that was there with, I don't even know for sure if it was with Kiely, but does he give you more of a description to where you guys know who it might be?
It is. I mean, I think that everybody's already speculating, in any additional information that I would provide. So, I have to be careful in what it is that we do say and what we put out there for certain reasons. So, we
understand.
put out what we can at this moment in time, and like I said, we will put out a lot more later on if it goes down in that direction that law enforcement take it.
So from everything that you've seen in your experience, if you had to guess, I mean, would you guess that there is foul play involved in this one? If you had to guess.
I'm just going. I'll say this: I would not have put that in our title if we thought it was nothing more than an accident. It's open for interpretation, speculation at this point. There's an entire other theory that it would blow your mind if I even told you. based upon additional.
Whoa.
Even just going with let's see, without giving away too much, and without me saying anything really. If you think about the two people that are moving around the vehicle, there could be more to that story.
He's talking without talking because he knows he.
Oh my God!
It's something that even in my conversation, if I have a private conversation with Ryan later on, will be a private conversation. I'm not even going to tell you,
right?
Ryan. I mean, because
I don't blame you.
Come to their own conclusion at this point as to potential, but none of us want to be in a situation where it's defamation.
Exactly.
If it's not true.
Right.
We hope that it's not. But if it is, then justice will be served. Appropriately.
Was Nick able to? Sorry, I just have one more question. Was Nick able to look at a picture of Kiely and say, "This is the girl that I saw," or was it more based off of the vehicle matched the description of her vehicle?
Right now, I'm still gathering some information based upon what I just hinted to you right now.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm gathering more information on that one. As far as who the male may be, I'm going to say that it was a positive match.
Yeah, got
without
it.
saying.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my God.
You say male?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because remember he said that the girl was with a male with the SF black cap on. And
oh my God.
So yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Oh my gosh. So how we're praying for Nick, Jared, too, because we know that was his first, or we're assuming that's his first body. How's he holding up?
It was he's actually holding up pretty good. We debriefed again yesterday and, had another conversation about it. And, your first one, is always the hard. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say that. Your first one is not always the hardest. Each and every one of them, even though, we didn't know Kiely, we've connected with the story. We're fathers ourselves, we're brothers, we're uncles, we're dads, we're grandpas. And so we have that emotional connection. And, it used to really upset me when people would, troll me and like, oh, you're just a showman and you're just, the tears are not real. It's like, no, everything that we've ever done is real, raw.
100% real.
Yeah.
It's
and so
obvious.
And so what you're seeing from Nick is what you saw a lot from me in the very beginning as well. And so the more I go and I do more of these, I almost feel bad that it's like that I'm not showing as much emotion, because am I becoming, used to it, or am I just internalizing it?
Desensitized. It does happen.
That's what I was going to say. Desensitized.
Just like a crime scene investigator. That's why they show up and don't show no emotion.
Yeah. So then it's like, well, okay, well now Jared doesn't even care. Now Jared's just here for the views and he's here for the money, and we're here for the families, because again, coming back to, I'm a dad, I'm a neighbor, I'm a grandpa. I have kids. My kids are now 22 and 25. Whether they're 16 when they go, if they would have gone missing, or now, I mean, it's going to hit you exactly the same. And
it's always your little boy or little girl, no matter how old they are.
Yeah. And if that message from the mom is from her real account, I don't know if it is or not. I don't fault her, and I don't blame her at all, because everybody will go through a grieving process differently. So, one thing that we don't do is we don't reach back out to families for a pat on the back. We move on to the next case to go help the next family. And we've been invited to, probably 60, 70% of the cases that we have solved to come be a part of the memorial, and we turn every single one of them down. And the reason for it is that is not our day to come and be the showman and hey, we were the heroes in this to solve this for you. This is your special day with your family to honor and remember your lost loved one. And we're not here to distract and take anything away from them.
Thanks for clearing that up, because that was something we were debating with yesterday. And one of the thoughts was everyone grieves differently, and you can't judge somebody on their stage of their grief that they're in, right? But I'm glad that you said that, and that you're making it very clear. We have a lot of respect for you here, and chat, obviously, they're just like throwing up hearts for you.
Yeah.
Like, everyone respects you guys so much.
And we want to wish you all the luck in the world in your future searches.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, just a few more things. We don't come into these based upon any rewards. We find that most rewards are just bogus and BS. To date, we have only ever once received a reward, and we split that evenly among the team members. And that way they can do and choose how to spend it that's going to best suit them and their families. I choose to reinvest. I choose to say what? Only one. Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're not real. They like the individual that you had on
the PI,
Yeah.
for Jared Hall, and he has been notorious for saying that he's going to give rewards out and reneging on them. And anybody who hears this within the sound of my voice, who supports him after everything he's done, especially to Zav and to everybody else out there, if you guys care, it's truly disheartening to see that. So yes.
So now, from time to time, families will offer up donations. From time to time, when we know the family is struggling, we will have them put up a GoFundMe immediately that we help drive, the donations to cover funeral expenses, which is usually in the 5 to 10 range. And so, I advise a $10,000, funeral expense is what we do. We've done that for, probably 5 or 6 of the families that needed that help and that assistance. We've helped, fire departments raise funds for, underwater drones and to help them get sonar as well. That's what we're here to do, is to help the entire community. So, one, we'll never turn down. We'll always honor a donation if it comes our way, and or a reward. So, when the news came out of, the AWP doesn't, no, we do. It's not why we come and we do these.
Exactly.
We do, we took a big chance in coming in on a fresh case, because most of the time they're going to be found within the first week or two, whether it's somebody in a vehicle or somebody that's simply drowned. If they've simply drowned, they go through 2 float cycles and they're going to be found. So we don't rush across the country, especially for a drowning, victim. We've also learned in the past, as you've seen the backlash that we receive, and they say no good deed goes undone, that we don't come in on these fresh cases because there's so many agencies and entities and egos and, turf wars that take place, that we're not here to make anybody look bad. We don't want to be a part of it. And that's why we have chosen in the past to only work cold cases that everyone has already forgotten about, that these families and the victims need a voice to be remembered and to possibly solve this. And that's why, we're quiet about it. Sometimes law enforcement knows about it. Sometimes they don't. We do everything by the book as far as, we don't trespass. We'll always get permission for any private property. Any public waterways, we don't need permission for. We have zero red tape, that we will go wherever we want. We will knock on whatever door we want. We don't have to go get warrants. It's just simply listen, I'm in the area. I'm looking for so-and-so. We believe your body of water is in an appropriate place where they could have gone off the road. And, 99.8% of the time, the homeowners are very, gracious in letting us search their property, because we're doing so, in a non-intrusive way. We're putting the little boats in, we're on the water for 15 minutes, and I'll let you know whether there's a vehicle there or not. And then as you've seen, depend on, how many you've been watched, we're learning. At the end of the day, we're all just civilians trying to do something good to bring awareness and to solve the case. So in the beginning, the Iowa case. They're like, well, you know, they went to go sue for the $100,000. I was pissed. Listen, that reward, as we're learning, we didn't go for the reward, but it was offered. And so when the business owners decided to yank it the night before, after we found the vehicle, we reported it, and then, you know, law enforcement is coming in the next day to remove the vehicle. Law enforcement understood how important it was for us to be there. Otherwise, our viewers would come down on them because they saw what happened over in North Carolina. But the reward was yanked the night before, that suddenly it had expired. So it pissed me off. It's like, yeah, I'll sue you for it. But
100%.
But then in the end, it was like, that's not who we are. That's not why we came. And so if it's there and it's offered graciously, 100%. If it's not, if you don't want to honor it, I'm not going to hold you over the coals. It's not my problem. It's not on my shoulders, because I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing regardless.
Exactly.
So,
Jared,
what about the
they
future?
have a question. They have a question in chat, and I think it's important. I don't know if you can answer it or not. Do you think that you could tell us if her phone was found in the vehicle?
That one, I actually have no idea. I have not heard anything, so I'm not sugarcoating it. I can't say yes or no. I don't have.
I got to bounce out, you guys. Jared, it's nice to meet you, buddy. Hey, I'm going to get your number from the email. Whatever we talk about is not going to make it onto a camera anywhere else. I can give you my word on that. All a man has is his word. Zav, you take
Bye,
it easy,
Ryan.
girl. All you other
Thank
ladies
you.
in here, take it easy. I got to get back to this
Thank
job
you.
site before the sun goes down.
Ryan.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you
Ryan.
for coming up. Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, for
I
sure.
appreciate it.
Jared, I'll hit you up later, Bubba.
All right, sounds good. Later.
So, Jared, in the future, do you plan on maybe working more cases that are going on right now, or even maybe helping with law enforcement programs or anything?
I don't want to.
Or you're not that point.
It's terrible. You know, while it's good to be in the headlines because we want to spread awareness of what we do, and as well as that's the necessary evil of us being content creators and putting this out there so the next family can find us in the same way that, you know, the family before found us. That we've said, even if we had unlimited funding, we feel like we would still have to document this and record this. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to be in a position to where we're stepping on the toes of these agencies to where they resent us. We want to be working with them. So, you know, we have gone into the FBI headquarters and we have trained 20 of their agents. They said, you know, and they were very gracious and opening, you know, while we're in Jersey, you know, and they said, we want to invite you in. What are you guys doing differently than we're doing so we can learn how to become better at finding lost loved ones underwater? You know, and so there's incredible agencies that, you know, out there across the U.S. That are welcoming. They're finding out more and more about who we are. We have, you know, our track record continues to get better and better, you know, and I don't know how many of you know our story from the very beginning, but I mean, it started off with nothing more than it's like,
I do.
Cleaning the environment.
Yeah, Jared's going to become a middle-aged balding YouTuber and he's going to clean up the environment. Why not? You know, but then it just turned into so much more of finding the cell phones, to finding the first car, to pulling out a ton of cars because I contacted Doug and Doug said, yeah, we have this tow company. Well, however many cars you find this year, we'll do it. There's 25 cars the first year. And then family saw that we had this ability to find and recover. And then that's how, you know, this mission to serve, you know, started, because that first family that contacted us, you know, they're like, we see that you can do this, but how much is this going to cost? We, you know, our family doesn't have much money. We said nothing. We will not charge you for it.
I was in
We're here to
that.
help you out. So
I was in your live where you found that body, and
yeah, that was
like
that was actually the third one that we'd ever found, but that was our first one on accident that we found. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
So we had done just a drowning victim for the local sheriff prior to that, and then we had done the Nathan Ashby one right before the end of the year. That one just, you know, had pissed me off because turf wars within the agencies locally. They all kept saying they were going to do it, but now it became, oh, it's too close to the holidays. Even though we said that the water and everything is perfect, I'm sorry, you know, we just want to go spend time with our families, and so pissed me off. I spent time with my family, and the day after Christmas, I took off. And it was a 32-hour drive. We slept in the car, and you know, we started at 9 a.m. and by 6 p.m. we had Nathan out of the water that night. And
that's the stuff we don't see, the struggle.
Yeah,
that you don't necessarily put on video.
Yeah, and so this is definitely, you know, grown because of everybody's support. So, you know, we appreciate you guys, you know, everybody spreading awareness. You know, we appreciate the donations. We appreciate the, subscribe, you know, those that subscribe, because everything helps out along the way. That in the beginning, you know, as you know, you mentioned that you know my story. You know, I was sleeping in the back of the car, you know, didn't even own a dive tank of my own, begging for air. You know, and now I have 2 trailers that has $250,000 worth of gear in each one of them, plus the trailer, plus the RV, and we now have 2 of those that we're able to separate and go help more families. You know, at the end of the day, though, we're always going to be in fundraising mode. You know, my budget is 1.1 million for this year without me even being paid in that factor, so I can take care of the entire team, so I can take care of the breakdown, so I can take care of, you know, the food, the fuel, you know, everything that has to take place in order to help these families, and to do so free of charge to them.
I'm definitely getting my new magnet kit from you guys. I'm excited about it.
Well, thank you.
When will you have it in? When will you have your glass breakers? And I know you said earlier, some people missed it, that you're kind of trying to find find a way to get by this unscrupulous guy who's trying to compete with you.
Fingers crossed, if all goes well with the Shopify litigation team, we'll have them back online on Friday.
Woo!
Oh, cool. 'Cause I'm going to buy one.
But if not, I mean, it could be 60 to 90 days before we have a new solution in place. But we will have them for the
Okay.
holiday season for sure.
Perfect, because after this case, I think so many more people are just like, this is scary. We don't want this to happen to our kids, our family members, ourselves. And we need a glass breaker that works. And we've seen what yours does. So, yeah.
100%.
Well, and with that, 50% of the cases that we have solved, whether it was they were going to do it intentional or it was an accident, of the 50% that we've seen, they did end up trying to escape as the vehicle is finding that, bubble of air. And I mean, I wish I could just show, like what's going through my head right now is what,
I'm
one
sorry.
particularly is, what's his name now? Thomas Thornton. Thomas Thornton, he was a veteran, onset of dementia, straight dead end road. And he was fighting for his life, that he could not get out the side doors because they had already hit the water. The windows were up. He was able to pop the back latch, but he was not able to get over that last set of back seats to get out because he was too large, and he was just in that position of fighting for his life. And I wish that, what are the odds of somebody going in the water and having to fight for life? I mean, it's very slim, but if you can give yourself or your family an opportunity to, have that chance to escape, because some that have also went in the water in a on purpose scenario, some of them also changed their mind. You could see that they were also trying to fight for their life after they realized that they made a mistake.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think your instincts take over,
Wow.
It would be great if car manufacturers could keep this in mind and try designing something in the car that you could get the seat down faster or something. I don't know.
There's a company we're working with, but they're still probably a year and a half, 2 years out to market, to where it will automatically lower the windows the moment that the vehicle goes in the water and the vehicle is upright at that moment in time. Once the vehicle goes upside down and the windows were down, it's going to sink almost immediately. But it's just not out there yet for that product. But this company does have the patent on it, and they're doing everything they can to get it out, and we're going to help them promote it.
Well, you're saying it will lower their windows when you go upside down, or can you explain that again?
No, so when you're right side up and you hit the water and it senses that you're in water, it will lower the windows, all the windows immediately.
Wow, that would be awesome. Okay.
If the vehicle is upside down, you don't want the windows to be lowered, because now the water is going to rush in immediately
and push you up.
So the vehicle will right itself for a moment, then it'll kind of, nose dive down. And then, at that moment in time, you still have time for all the windows to get out.
That's a question I want to ask you. With the Kiely situation, how do you think it flipped over? Can you kind of explain that, like which way?
Well, most vehicles we find, 60-70% of them are actually going to be upside down. And the reason for it is, they'll go in the water. And then because the engine is heavier, it's going to nose down. And then because there's air in the wheels or there's still air in the back of the car or wherever it's trapped, it's going to, have the car rest a little bit, and then it usually flips over.
Okay, I see. Okay.
So it's how the air is pushed out of the back of the vehicle, or so. Okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of people were speculating, well, all the windows are broken out, and I think there's only one that wasn't broken. Well, that was because the vehicle was flipped back over while it was underwater to then pull it out. Whereas those of you who've seen the members only video, you'll see that most of all the windows were up and intact at that moment in time when it was underwater. So anyway, hey,
I have a question for you before you go real quick.
Yep.
I want to get this clarified for chat and everything. The type of equipment and everything that you guys use, what separates you from what law enforcement has to do the job?
We don't have the red tape to where we have to beg for, hey, something new just came out that's better. We'll just go buy it. We are also not trained up on it, once a month or once a year. We're out there using it every single day. You take a bass fisherman that wins all the tournaments. Why is he winning the tournaments? Because he's out there fishing all the time, and he knows how to read his fish finders and what, this fish is, a bass versus a, stripe or whatever. I mean, he's able to tell that because he spends so much time with it, in the same way that in the beginning when we started, everything looked like a car. It didn't matter if it was a 3-foot rock or it was, a tree stump, or everything looks like a car.
Right.
And so now, you'll see, Doug and I especially, it's like 100%, nope, that's not a car, but we're able to take the 3 sonar settings that we have from down imaging, side imaging, and live scope, and be able to pinpoint. Usually it shows up on side scan first. This say, all right, we have a target over here on our left 30 feet. Now we go over, we get closer and closer to it. Now we get over it, that we can see it on down imaging. We can see it on live scope. And because we're using the little boats, like I think that what Doug and I were talking about this yesterday, if we would have had unlimited funds in the very beginning, it's like, oh, let's be cool. Let's buy the $250,000-$300,000, workboat that, the sheriff's departments have, and the front flips down. And we wouldn't have had the success that we have now. It's because we're sitting right on top of our sonar. We're in these little boats. We're able to pivot them. We're able to manipulate, the live scope by just because our hand is right there with it, and we're able to turn it and flip it. And I'll tell you, in 3 seconds, exactly what this is. If it's upside down, if it's right side up, you'll see that a lot of these take me a little bit longer. And if they're, the deeper they are, the harder they are to identify. The route brown, if it's in, brush, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
Right. Now
like
with
the doctor looking at an x-ray, they know what they're looking at, whereas everybody else sees it and it's just blobs on a x-ray.
Right. Now with that being said, do you like, I've seen your videos many of times, they're excellent. But when you come across, cases that, all your cases that, law enforcement has gone over that area, you come back, you find them. Do you offer any type of, advice, experience, any type of thing like teaching wise for the local law enforcement for if they come across something like this ever again?
Yeah, no, a lot of these law enforcement agencies, they are humble about it and wanting to know how did they miss it. And so we actually met with, I want to say, 15, 20 agents the next day, over lunch, that we had them bring their boats and we brought our boats and compared what were they using, how are they using it versus what we were using and how we were using it.
Like in your debrief,
they really did want to learn, and so that way they didn't have this happen again. That it, have a case where this goes on for 2 weeks. So we do have agencies that are like that really want to learn. One of the most difficult sergeants that I felt really bad for him was the Nadine Moses case up in Marine City, Michigan, because he was in charge of it. They had multi-million-dollar, equipment and boats, and they had Coast Guard up there and their county and their state. And we come in and, you know, less than 20 minutes, we find her. And I think it had been like 5 months at that point that she had been missing. And they've been over that same area multiple times. And so, you know, even coming into this one, you know, the sergeant said, if you find her, it's really going to affect my ego. And I get it. I don't want to crush anybody's ego. And I am scared to death that I'm going to miss something. I am scared to death that somebody's going to come in behind me and solve something that I looked the family in the eye and I said, you know, I cleared this. You don't have to worry about it. You can look somewhere else and focus your time and energy and efforts. So I get it 100%, you know, the feelings and the emotions of what they told the family, and, you know, that they were confident in their teams in clearing this area. But we have a saying, as you may or may not have heard Doug and I say, unless we have cleared it, we never consider it searched. And that's why we go back over these areas. And that's why we solve, you know, multiple cases now that law enforcement and divers had already been in, because we're not out there practicing once a week or once a month here, you know, a couple times a year. We're out there doing this, you know, day in and day out, and we know our equipment.
Jared, can we ask you, I don't know if you're allowed to say, but on the Jalissa case that you're supposed to be, I don't know if you are right now or not. Can you talk about the Jalissa case at all?
So I do need to get going, but let me just say that it has come out in the news as of yesterday, the day before. It has now turned to a criminal investigation, and a lot of that has to do with because of the work that we did in the area, what we ended up uncovering, and what we did not find. You know, but we can look the family in the eye and say, you know, your daughter is not underwater in the area.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, of course, that scares me. Because what if she is found in Avocado Lake or, you know, Pine or whatever? I mean,
Just like
scares
you were saying,
scares me to death.
Yeah.
Because my credibility, you know, and AWP and Doug's and everybody's on the line. We never want to be wrong. But if we ever are, I mean, we're going to fall on the sword. We're going to admit it. And what did we miss? In the same way that, you know, the local law enforcement on Kiely's case has said, how did we miss this? And they learned from it. I missed Ralph Brown. I missed him 3 or 4 times I'd been in the area, and it ate me up. How did I miss him?
You're human.
Yeah.
You're human.
And it helps you learn, right? You probably learned.
Yeah. But I want to be very confident, you know, in what it is I'm doing, and, you know, be able to, you know, take care of these families, because that's what we're here for. We're here to take care of the families and to, you know, have empathy for them. So, hey, anyway, on that note, thank you again.
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jared, for coming up and
you're welcome.
Honored
to us.
We're honored. Hopefully we can get back together when we have other cases that cross paths.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All
All right, have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Jared.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.